Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody can hear us and we can start our webinar. My name is Maciej Krzekotowski and I'm Consulting Director at Crowe Poland. I'm very pleased to welcome you on today's webinar organized by Crowe Poland with the cooperation with global leader in RPA solutions automation annual. We will conduct today's meeting together with Robert Ćwiertnia, Senior Consultant on Robotic Process Automation at Crowe Poland. Hello, Robert.
Hello, good morning.
And our two experts representing Automation Anywhere, Michael Weiss, Strategic Partner Manager. Hello, Michael.
Good morning to everybody.
And Benedikt Blaser, Partner Success Manager. Hello, Benedikt.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
During the webinar, we'll do a quick introduction about the RPA. We'll talk about the global trends relating to the automation of business processes. And we will also present examples of benefits of implementing RPAs in the organization. I encourage you to ask questions via chat. If we will not be able to answer them, for sure we'll contact you after the event and answer all questions. We will also provide you with the recording of the webinar after our event. I also encourage to stay till the end of the event because we prepared a small surprise for you and I will describe it at the end of the present. So I think now we can move to the main topic and I will give the floor to Robert Ćwiertnia.
Maciej, thank you very much for this introduction. I am very happy that I have this opportunity to present this business tool, which is RPA. And maybe let me just start with a short definition of a robotic process automation. RPA is a form of business process automation technology, which is based on software robots. So as a matter of fact, RPA is just a computer program which is interacting within the existing applications, which is interacting in the same manner as the human employee. But what I just said is just one part of RPA, let's say this technological part. But from the other side, RPA is a kind of the business philosophy that is aimed at process optimization, at continuous improvement culture, at companies' digital transformation, on upskilling employee competences, at achieving better customer experience, and so on and so on. So we have these two dimensions of RPA. From one side, this is a new technological tool that helps us to achieve greater value. But from the other side, this is a business solution that creates a significant competitive advantages on the market. And the basic component of a robotization is a software robot. And the robot is just an application installed on the computer. So robot is nothing else as the computer program that is installed on the normal computer and is doing its work on this computer. And the robot imitates employees' work by repeating operations on the computer. So operations like clicking with the mouse or using the keyboard. And the very important feature of the robotization is that robotization doesn't require any changes in the existing IT systems, in the IT infrastructure or environment that exists already in the company. So starting robotization, we don't have to be afraid of a significant investments in the existing IT infrastructure. This is something very, very crucial and important when you start the RPA. And as I said, robot is doing the same work which previously was executed by the employee on the computer. So a robot doesn't have an intelligence, doesn't make up the decision or creates the new solutions. Robot is just a computer program that is just repeating before scheduled a task that was previously executed by the normal employee. very important feature of the RPA is that it can integrate and work in many different applications that are used by the company, because as a matter of fact, this is a corporate solution. So RPA can interact, can exchange information, prepare reports, make the processes within the existing enterprise system. Enterprise system like ERP, for example, CRM, BPM, and others. But the most popular applications in which the robots work correctly is, for example, Office package, especially Excel and Outlook. And interacting within the email is also a very positive feature of the RPA, because the robot can, for example, open an email, send email, prepare and send the mass communication, can open the attachments to the email, can read them, interpret, make the reports on this, and so on. So email is one of the important areas when the RPA can effectively work. But robots can also work on any document that exists in the electronic version. And this is also crucial that to know that the robots do not operate on the paper versions of the documents. If you want to prepare ourselves for robotization, you have to be conscious that all the documents, all the data needs to be prepared, needs to be proceed in electronic version. So when we have the electronic version on the document, scanned version of the document, the robot can open such a document, take the data, extract the data from the document, can prepare the reports on it, and so on and so on. So this is also an important element of the robotization. More often, the robots are used in internet, especially these days when the communication between the companies and the potential customers is executed in the web. Robots are able to open the internet site, to look for the correct information, to look for the data, to extract this data from internet, to prepare the reports on it, they can prepare the schedules, can prepare also the mass communication that could be, for example, dedicated to the social network, for example, to promote the company's products. And why it's worth to consider the robotization of the processes in the company. Here is the list of the basic benefits resulting from the automation. The first and one of the important is a reduction of time which the employees spend on a task executed within the process we automate. So one of the most important feature of the robot is that it can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it doesn't require any breaks. It doesn't require sick leaves. It doesn't go out for a sick leaves or doesn't require vacations. He can work 24 hours a day. So it can be 3 times more effective than our normal 8 hours business day. So this is one of the very important elements of it. But apart from this, robotization also is a tool to optimize the process which we want to automate, because in most cases, before we start the robotization, we have to adapt, we have to adjust the existing business process for this robotization. So usually such a robotization starts with the process mapping, process measurement, and so on. So this optimization sometimes require to modify this process, to optimize, to simplify, to digitize it, in order to avoid, for example, bottlenecks or any risks or pain or so-called pain points. So optimization of the business process is one of the crucial benefits of the automation. Sometimes when the processes are not prepared for the robotization, the benefits resulting from the optimization can equal to 20 or 30% of the improvement in effectiveness. Another important feature of robotization is increase in employee productivity. because the robot is doing the most annoying, the most repeatable, the most manual work. And in this case, the employee who previously was engaged in execution of the task within this process now can do more sophisticated job, like to control these robots, like to become a manager of a robotization. Can also, and this is a real example from one of the implementation of the robotization, can also look for another processes to optimize. So when we start the robotization of one process, it is expanded to any others. Companies are looking for potentials for effectiveness improvement in any other processes, in any other areas of the business. So when we implemented the robotization of the invoices inflow, the company started to consider maybe, as a matter of fact, the employees who previously was engaged in this process started to look for other possibilities to implement the robotization on the wider scale. So they started to ask if maybe in HR we could implement such a solution. So it really increased the competences and increased the productivity of a team. And one of the most important features of the robotization is the raise in quality, especially by eliminating the errors, because the robot doesn't make errors. When we program him to take the data from Excel, from cell number B3, he will always do it without any error. We know that the humans are prone to making such errors. So by robotizing, we, as a matter of fact, eliminate a human error. So it raise the accuracy of the process and improve the control potential. Because you have to remember that when we prepare the process for robotization, we make him more transparent. And this transparency of the process is also the value added that is strengthening the auditability of such a process and improve the control functions of such a process. And one of the features that is sometimes basic needs when the company apply to us to consider implementation of robots is the acceleration of companies' digital transformation. Digital transformation is a very popular notion now. And by this digital transformation, in this case, I mean two aspects. The first, that we try to digitize the papers in the company. So when we, for example, implement the robotization of the invoices flow, first of all, we have to have these invoices in the electronic version. So we started to become a paperless company. So this paperless is one of the elements of this digitalization. Another can be the implementation of the electronic documents flow management system, a system that allow to elaborate, to work on a digital versions of the documents. So robotization is also an element of the transformation of the company. And of course, all these elements improve the efficiency, because when we add all these aspects at the end, and when we calculate the profits in a due diligence or in a feasibility study, it's clear that implementation of such a robotization has a very positive influence on the company's performance. And how to select the first process for automation? This is very important question, because it's always too good start with a process that is adjusted to robotization. It's always better to start with something which is not too complicated, which is prepared for the automation. And please remember that to start the robotization, we do not need to have any corporate strategy, robotization strategy or anything. We can start to robotize one simple process, and not the whole process, because it's possible to automate a part of this process. So we can start such a robotization with a pilot program or a kind of the proof of concept. So do not be afraid that at the beginning we have to engage the whole company or we have to engage the huge resources to implement such a solution. But it's very important that a process that we would like to robotize have to be prepared for it. There are some requirements, some assumptions we have to fulfill to have this automation as effective as possible. So first of all, what I have said already, the process must be digital. So we have to work on the electronic versions of the documents. If we do not have electronic version, of course, we can digitize them. It's not a problem. The process must be repeatable. So it's good when the process is repeated many, many times per hour per day. When you have the process that is repeated 1, 2, or 3 times a day, probably from the financial point of view, it will not be very effective. But when you have the process, when we need to process 100 invoices a day, this is already something that is worth robotizing. The process must be standardized. It means that it must flow with the same steps, with the same logical steps. Because when we have the situation when the humans must be engaged in this process, have to deal with something, it will of course slow the automation of this process. Now it's a good also feature when the process is vulnerable to the human errors, because the robots will eliminate all the errors. This is crucial in the financial aspects, also in the company, because to make an error in the financial document, it's an important issue. When we eliminate such errors, it really raises the quality of this process. And it's good when the process is stable, because when the process is unstable, so for example, we want to implement a new application in which the robot will work, or we need to implement another step. In consequences, we have to reprogram this robot. So we have to engage in the development, in the changes. So of course, it's a small problem, because we have to stop this automation. We have to reprogram the robot and implement it once again in this process. And the last feature, the process finally must be presented as an algorithm. So the logical, clear steps of all the tasks that are performed in this process. But what if such assumptions, such requirements are not fulfilled? No, it's not a problem, because as you see, these requirements we can improve. So when the data are in paper version, we can digitize them. When the process is not standardized, we can make it more simple. We can modify it, we can optimize it, we can simplify it to adjust it to the robotization. So when some of the elements at the moment seems not to be correct for the robotization, don't worry, we can help to adjust this process for the robotization. And as maybe this robotization seems sometimes to be too complicated, too sophisticated, I would like to calm you down that the implementation of such a RPA is really a simple task. This implementation, to show this, I have prepared here the 5 basic steps we would be good to take into consideration while implementing the RPA. So we need to start to select the process we want to automate. So this is the first step. Yes, we have to know exactly what group of tasks we want to automate. Another is this process optimization. So we will, as I said, we will adjust this process to robotization requirements. So we will simplify, modify to be prepared correctly for a robotization. First step, it's good to evaluate if from the technical point of view, we are able to implement this robotization, and we do it in the so-called feasibility study, and another document or another approach is a due diligence that show us the financial aspect of this robotization. So we are able to calculate what amount of the investments we need and what benefits it will bring, to calculate if a long-term such a robotization will be something in benefit for the company. And the fourth step, which is also very important, is so-called change management. So we always have to remember that implementation of RPA is a change in the company, especially a huge change for the employees that were so far engaged in the tasks that were executed within this process. So it's very important to be prepared for such a challenge. So it's good to prepare a correct communication for the employees, the presentation, the meeting, and so on, to clarify what kind of benefits RPA can bring, for example, for the people who so far were engaged in execution of such a project. And the last technical part, this is the robot programming and implementation of this robot in the company. So these are the simplest scheme how the RPA can be implemented in the company. And here is the division of the task between the company who decides to consider the RPA and the RPA partner. I would like also show here that the majority of the job is on the RPA partner. So here are these 5 steps of the implementation of the robotization. So we have this first step, process selection. Now the company has to decide which process would be good to automate, but RPA partner can provide you the tools to evaluate which of the selected, for example, 10 processes would be the best, the most effective as a pilot in robotization. So we will also can help you with this. As concerns the process optimization, RPA partner is doing this. So we prepare, the mapping of the process, the measurement of the process, and so on. And the feasibility study, technical feasibility study, and financial due diligence is also on our side. And all the tasks that are connected with the change management, we also prepare everything, especially the communication part of the implementation. And of course, the robot development and implementation of this robot is also on the RPA partner. So as you can see, we service you with a huge majority of this implementation. And here is an example of an implementation of a real example. Here are the benefits resulting from the implementation of the robotization in the processing the invoices. These benefits are divided into 2 parts. The first part is the quantitative benefits. And here I just wanted to show you that the first point, improving efficiency by reorganizing the process, achieved 30%. So only adjusting this process for robotization, so to modify it, to optimize it, to simplify it, to digitize, brought the significant raise in the efficiency by 30%. Also, the robotization brought another 36% of the improvement in the automation. And the last, the quality benefits, I would like to underline 2 aspects. The first, that in this company we have prepared the data digitalization and implemented the electronic document management system. So it also changed the company's culture. It was something really new that starting from the implementation of the robots, the company started to work on the electronic version of the documents. And the last aspect, the last but not least, is a kind of the building of the process approach in the company. Because when we implemented this solution, the robotization of the invoices flow, the company started to look for other possibilities to implement the robotization in other functions of the company. So it started to create the process approach, and as a matter of fact, a culture of the continuous improvement. And this is very important because, as I said in my first sentence, RPA is just a tool to create not only a huge competitive advantage on the market, but also to create the company that is prepared for the future and for the future challenges. So this is from my side, and now I will pass the voice to our friends from Automation Anywhere, which is RPA software provider, who will show us more technical and more practical aspects of robotization. So thank you very much for your attention.
Many thanks, Robert. And yes, we like to give you an overview. What is the worldwide status about RPA? And first of all, I like to give you an overview about our company. So we are, Benedikt, next slide. We would be considered as the biggest employer worldwide if we would have to pay for each of the robots, of the bots that our customers already have developed. So we can assume by having more than 3 million bots already at today's time, we would spend a lot of coffee when all the employees would have free coffee with us. But we are not really spending this amount for the employees. These are digital workers working side by side at our customers. And the goal of the whole intelligent automation, could be seen as this: digital transformation without automation is hallucination. So we are linking all of the office used applications to all of the back office used applications, regardless what the employees really are using, and bringing all these together to fulfill the end-to-end process to serve the customer best. That's the goal of an intelligent automation platform provided by Automation Anywhere. And we did a survey beginning of this year. It's called the Now and Next State of the RPA report. And when we asked not only customers of us, but all worldwide existing customers, a sample of it, what is currently going on regarding RPA, 90% of all these companies are already engaged somehow in RPA. But if we look a little bit deeper, most are still in the very, very early phases. And we say an early phase is when you are not yet on a department level, when you have not digitized your whole company. So many of these companies, they started in the evaluating phase. They have 1 or 2 pilot processes. In the business unit phase, in this middle 11%, they may have already 3 to 5 processes, but 3 to 5 additional employees, that's not your goal. You like to have for each of the existing employees an assistant, another digital employee doing the same work or even more work during the day he is working. So what we also found out, the importance of cloud. And cloud regarding of RPA is a very important tool because, as you heard from Robert, this initiative to automate things, it's most often driven by business. And business, they don't want to wait until an infrastructure, until somebody has programmed something in the IT. They want to do it now. They want to do it quickly. And everybody of them is used to do it, like downloading an app from the App Store on their iPhone or on their Android phone. And that's why RPA as a cloud solution is a very important topic, and it's a key benefit. We are the leader in this space. Regarding to analysts, we have a market share in the RPA cloud topic of 53% already. And our customers are, thanks to the cloud native technology underlying our solution, able to really do their first 3 processes together with a consultant and implementation company like Crowe within the first 3 months, then scale up and grow. The whole department could be automated within the first year, and afterwards the journey rolls on and goes further, scaling. There is no limitation because no infrastructure is needed. It's really scaling fast. And Benedikt will show us now live how to build your first bot. And I assume you will not need longer than, let's say, 4 minutes.
I'm giving my best. Thank you very much, Michael. And hello, everybody. Delighted to be here. Continuing what Michael said, we consider ourselves to be the leader on the cloud RPA workspace, and we can back it up with facts. So we, first of all, our platform, it's not a software, right? So it's like MySpace and Facebook. And each module that you can see is easy to intertwine and to use with other platforms as well. And it is super accessible, as it should be for a cloud company and for a cloud platform. So the platform composes itself out of several components. We offer you discovery assistance with a discovery bot, where you can get your processes basically self-discovered on the desktop level. You can use the Iqbot, which is also a market leader in intelligent document processing, to access your dark data. That means all the things that are not digital yet, such as PDFs, scans of invoices, pictures, etc. And of course, RPA Workspace, which is our core historic product as well, which comes in an intended and unattended version. So you can basically use the bots as an active aid, or you can have the bots run in the background. And what is something I really like a lot is also Bot Insight, because it helps you to monitor data that you possibly wouldn't be monitoring in the first hand if you would just have, your human workers doing things. They don't remember everything, but the bots can. And so this is a new angle to tap your data. We think the cloud platform is the perfect platform because it aligns with everything that is already pushing progress on the customer side, on the interface side, and because we offer one single platform to do all these things, you are able to run much more processes, around 2 times more processes than with any other solution in an automation space, and you have a significant less cost through the cloud native approach. As we are enterprise grade with now more than 14 years of experience, we are offering you the excellence that we have proven in the international markets all over the world, and enable you to scale very fast accordingly. Now, what I'm going to show you is that we use simply our community edition to build a first bot. It's basically eat your own, drink your own champagne, as you could say. So we are offering a cloud native approach for robotic process automation, and that's the interface also that you get to see. So everybody can do this right after the webinar. Go try it out. And if you have questions, of course, look at our value partner, Crowe. Here are some facts on why we are the cloud native provider and what its opportunities with it. Let me not bore you with many details. It's about accessibility, right? So first of all, cloud means privacy for us. Cloud means security for us. It is a modern architecture, and it uses all angles to fit the automation needs to your customers or to your infrastructure. That means whether you want to be super flexible, you can use a full cloud approach, or whether you want to use all things on your own premises, no problem for us. We can do both things. And what I mean with accessibility is that it is super easy for your business users and for everybody to use. And I want to show you that right away. So let me just switch to my browser here, actually. And this is this one. This is our community edition. So this is the same interface that you can use on your own. You get access to all the important modules of our platform. Means you can also try and run a discovery bot to find the processes that are able to be automated, and of course be sure to check out the Iqbot as well. Now I want to build a bot, and I call it Crowe prompt. And say create and edit. And all things that I had to prepare for this is to install a bot agent on my system. So that's all you need to do. And now you get an interface that is also very easy to understand. So on the left-hand side, you can see the actions that you can tell your bot to run. So in the middle, you can see the workflow of your bot. On the right-hand side, you will see the details of the actions. So what I want to do is to open a browser, and I search for browser, see there's a package, see some actions in it, close, download, go back, run JavaScript. And I want to open a browser, and here on the right-hand side, I can now tell what do I want to do. What do I want to say? Do I want to open Internet Explorer? Yes, I do, because it's on most systems, right? And I want to open google.com, because it usually adapts to wherever you are running the bot. Now I save it, and that's it. Let's run it. So this is my first bot, and well, it's a bot. It's not super intelligent, right? It does what it is supposed to do. It opens an interface, in this case, the Internet Explorer, and there you go. This is the Google interface here in Germany. looks cloudy. What I say, looks blue skies. Bot has run successfully. Sounds great. Now let's add some intelligence to it, right? So in order to do that, I want to click on Start Recording in my bot interface again. Now the bot asks me, where do I want to record things? Get a prompt here, and I can select the Google Internet Explorer with our recorder, and it switches now into the window. And this is now the recording interface that you can also use on your own processes within your company. So as you see, as I hover the mouse on various fields, it will adapt to the element below it. And in my case, I want to select the search panel, of course, where I click one time. Now I enter some text as where is Crowe in Praha? And type enter, and I get the address, right? So I can hover now over that as well to read out the address. But in my case, I just want to finish because that is all I wanted to know. And now the actions are recorded into the bot. And I'm just closing this one really quickly here to see has that worked. And I see the window as it was captured. This is for me to, be safe on the safe side. How it did function? It did understand the text correctly, and I'm adding here the keystroke enter at the end because this is now coded in our platform. So if I run the bot now, it should be doing just the same things that we just did. Let's just give it a quick spin. It is notifying my device, so it is, as you can see, it needs not very much of traffic. It's downloading the dependencies from our cloud. That's the community edition. And as you can see, there was no line of code needed, right? So everything I did so far was basically just to drag and drop some actions, to type in whatever I do normally as a part of the business process. And the bot then does everything on its own. Look, no hands. If you can see my camera, I'm not using my hands. And there you go. That's done. And now I can attach some more logic to it, such as a prompt for value. That means I want to know which city are you at? And just using the same text here. And I'm assigning the value to a variable called prompt assignment. And I will use this variable actually instead of Praha, so that I can basically search for Crowe wherever you are, right? Now, let me just run this bot. Again, it is deploying the differences or the delta to my system, notifying the system here. And for you, important, I think, in EU is that this is super easy to, drag and drop together. And super easy means usually not very secure. But in your case, this is super secure because every logic that you would then run as the bot or within the logic of the bot is running on your premises, and nothing is sent anywhere if you don't tell it to, right? So here you can see the window, and I'm looking for Warsaw and confirm. And now I'm the bot is again operating here, and it's entering Warsaw, and I'm getting the correct address of Crowe, Polska. So there you go. That was the first bot. I took a bit more than 4 minutes, but basically I built 3 bots. So I take that as a somewhat of an excuse. Hope I was able to help you with that. And now I am switching back to the slide deck. Hope you can see it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Benedikt. That was really impressive, seeing how quickly, thanks to our cloud native platform, you just needed a browser and you have built the first bot. So, of course, it's not always that easy. And of course, in your application environment, you have much difficult things. But at the end, what we like to achieve is that we, as a human, we can concentrate on the things we are good in and have the digital workers in doing the repetitive things like Robert already explained that at the beginning. To illustrate this, we do have a sample company, and this company receives information from a customer, and the customer likes to have a quote. It runs through the purchase order process. It gets credit checked. The shipment in another department, the logistics department, should happen. Then the finance department is involved with invoicing it. Payment will be out and the cash comes in. Have you seen? It takes, in this example, 30 days. And I assume in many companies, it might take up to 30 days for the whole process. But your competitor, he can offer that much quicker perhaps, or you don't like to have this offering of 30 days to your customer, you will to have shortened the time. And this is possible thanks to the Automation Anywhere intelligent automation platform and thanks to the service of Crowe, that they will fix the process at certain points and make it easier that human interactions can be done by a bot and to speed up the whole process without touching any of the existing applications. And in this case, you have seen, we have shortened the time only to 5 days. So these are numbers that are significantly lower than what companies normally would have. To show you another sample, I like to run a short video where the whole invoicing is done through a bot. And this invoice process, I think you should see the film now, is that all the invoices are sent to a centralized inbox. And out of this inbox, the bot that is now created in the same way as you have seen Benedikt creating a bot before in our control room with the bot creator, should be done and ready in SAP at the end. So we take one of the action package, open the inbox. For us, only these emails are important where the email classification is really for inbox and where we do have an attachment also received from the sender. So in our case, we will see now in the email that the PDF of a invoice is really attached. And the next action, which will be handled by our Iqbot, which is our intelligence platform for document understanding, will treat now this document. And we have pre-trained for invoices our Iqbot, but you can train it for any of your own documents, what kind of information you like to see. So in our case, we are eager to see 6 different informations, and we train once the bot to extract it. And whenever we put a new invoice into Iqbot, all these data is automatically extracted, in our case now to a CSV file. And the next step would be to open the SAP system, to have a secure connection to it, and afterwards to launch the application in SAP, where all the data we gathered from the document will be entered into the SAP system, which is now the case in this SAP set text package. So as you can see, and as Benedikt already mentioned, no programming needed so far. Of course, you need to have somehow an understanding, but be assured the people from Crowe, the consultants of Crowe, they are absolutely ready to do it together with you and teach and consult you to do your bots and to implement such a invoicing process, for example, that in the future, nobody really have to deal with incoming invoices. All can be done by a robot. If we go back to see other use cases, we'll skip these slides, please. Go further. There is another typical use case. It's not only around documents where the robot could help. It's also for people having multiple screens on their desktop and handling different applications. Here, I think we do have a really good use case. And Benedikt, please explain us more what we mean with the swivel chair approach.
Absolutely, gladly. Thank you, Michael. So the swivel chair approach means you have to turn your chair according to the interface that needs your input. And this is something like a human constant that just happens over the time, by working with humans. So you find new interfaces, you find new solutions, you find new approaches to processes, and this means you clutter more interface interaction. So we want to simplify that. We want to simplify that together with Crowe. And for that, we built ARI, which is our Automation Anywhere robotic interface. It's like a digital assistant, just like you would use at home from Google, Apple, and Amazon. You have you can build your own intelligence here within your company that attaches to all the interfaces you might have in several ways of automating it. So you can, of course, use it to attach to the existing interfaces. You can use it to attach these interfaces unattendedly, right? What we want to stop is to swiveling the chair. So we want to attach all these various interfaces from Zendesk, Salesforce. These are just examples. Really, I think that the most important part is custom apps and docs at the end, because this is probably going to be the majority of interfaces that interfere for your worker, your employee. So instead of entering data in various interfaces, logging in, clicking through, switching tabs, opening thousands of Navision windows, we want to offer one simple interface, and this is going to be ARI, and you can build it just like you have seen the bot. You can build it on your own in a super simple and easy and accessible way, and you can also use our community edition to do that. I prepared a short demo here. You should be able to see this, but I think we also uploaded it in in our viewer here. So this is supposedly it. So this shows, again, the community edition, the same interface that you have seen before when I built the bot. And here we also built, just like we did build the bot, we built the interface interaction. And you don't need, you not only build your own interfaces, you can really build a whole process flow. So that means in the realistic world, you usually have human interactions together with interfaces, right? So you would click a certain number for a field that is supposed to be entered in, for example, Navision, and somebody else has to confirm it, right? So you might have a human interaction here too, and you can take that into account on this process tree. Now, once you've confirmed the happy path, let's say, you can design your own interfaces for this, and you can again use the community edition, excuse me, to see the process from the view of ARI Web. And the web option is just one of several options. So you can use here a web interface that would, instead of opening, searching for the panel in Navision, you are entering the customer phone here in one panel, and in the back end, the bot will run, start running for you and look for where did we have the customer phone? Do we have it in Navision? Do we have it in our CRM? Do we have it in our marketing logic, Marketo, right? And it will do this in the back end without, being a distraction for your human worker, for your employee, because we as persons, we are supposed to be interacting. We are supposed to be creative. We are supposed to be strategic, right? We are not supposed to be drilling down complex interfaces to find complex data, right? Some of us are, but I think that the majority here in the call will be happy about actually having a simplicity in their everyday digital life, right? So as you can see here, we have gathered some information, and not only did we use the web interface, the super simple web interface, to enter the data, but we did also use it to get the data out of it. And now with the data that we received, so we can see, for example, the customer has invoices open. Do we want to grant him, an exception? Then we can just click a button to confirm that without needing to open a new software that would allow me for credit checks or credit exceptions. Now, I can just close this request, run through the whole process without having to use one particular software, without having to use one interface that was originally included. The whole thing is just done by the bot, and you can see sometimes the windows here. This is just for illustrating what the bot does in the back end. It is not necessary for you to have these windows open as the business user, because you will just be able to use the web interface, and you are able to focus on the really important part, which is, luckily, humans interacting with humans. And I find that very valuable. And I'm very proud that this is also part of our native cloud approach and doesn't need anything else to install besides the bot agent, right? The one that I've shown you at the community edition at the beginning already. So you don't really need that much to get going. You don't really need much to start automating. And with these final seconds, the benefits of robotization, as Robert already mentioned, I don't want to bore you with repetition, and I hand over to our core industries where you can apply RPA.
Tagline is go to be great, and go to be great together with Crowe. And I hand over to Maciej.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. Thank you for all this valuable knowledge and real examples. I would like to quickly go through the information how to start the RPA journey and on which steps we can support you. Depending of the how experience with the RPA company is, we can start the cooperation on the proper step. We often support our clients with running workshops, showing how this solution works. We, of course, work on the practical examples from the perspective of the client of the company. So this is not only theoretical knowledge. We also prepare assumptions how to implement RPA effectively in given environment and organization. Then we analyze information about your company, about the processes and your operations, and we try to answer the question when RPA will be effective and give satisfactory return on the investment, and what have to be done from the business perspective and also from the technical perspective to implement RPA. We also work on processes, business processes, because these steps is very often skipped. We try to answer the question what can be done and implemented regarding business processes before implementing RPA. So we work to prepare recommendation and improvement from the business perspective, what can be done, how to operate the processes, what can be done using existing systems in the company. So what can be done quicker on the beginning and prepare like the most effective process, and then start working on the RPA solutions. We also have to remember before thinking about the RPA to plan digitalization of the documents. As it was said, we have to work on the digitalized documents, so it's also very important and we cannot forget about it. We also cooperate with the clients who are experienced in RPA and have some solutions implemented. We help them to assess if the strategy which have been chosen processes which have been chosen for RPAs was done correctly, what can be done better, and answering the question if it is very effective at what can be done better. We also perform systematic assessment of the RPA solutions to assure companies that in a systematic manner they are assessing their solutions and the implementation of RPAs. We can support our clients in all these steps or only in some of them. It depends on, of course, on the company. We can help you no matter where you are located. We are able to perform such projects globally. What is the most important and what I would like to underline is to encourage you to start working with the robotization. More and more companies are using its benefits, so I think there is no time to wait and you should start this journey. As I promised on the beginning, we have prepared a small surprise for you. And we want to show you how RPA can help your company and how it fits to your company. That's why we encourage you to select one process in your company, and we'll prepare potential directions and possibilities regarding the automatization and implementation of RPA. So when you prepare this process, you can contact us on email, which is given here, contact@Crowe PL, and we will work with first 5 ideas, which will come to the email. We are waiting for them till the end of June. If you will have any problems in choosing specific processes, just don't worry, just contact us. We can also support you to help and to prepare the right selection. I'm sure that it will be valuable for you and it will show you how you can cooperate with RPA. Okay, so finally, thank you very much all for participating, for your time, for your questions. I would like to also thank to the presenters for sharing presentation and knowledge. Thank you very much. As I previously announced, we will provide the recording of the webinar. Feel free to contact us on the email with all questions. We are waiting for your processes. And I hope it was valuable time for you. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks.